Hey guys, and welcome back to another video here on my channel. Tiana here, of course. For today's Foundation Friday, I'm going to be trying out the new Colourpop foundation. You may have heard of it. It is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hydrating Foundation and the Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer. So if you guys want to see my thoughts on this foundation and concealer, then please keep watching. Hey guys, so as I was saying in the intro, we are trying out the Pretty Fresh foundation and concealer today. If you guys know anything about this foundation, it is a hydrating foundation and a hyaluronic creamy concealer. So I got the shades Deep Dark 190W and Medium Dark 145W. This is the second time of me like kind of sitting down filming this video. I picked up a 2 light shade before, and so I was like, oh, I gotta scrap that. So I think this one's gonna work out a little bit better. So this is just what the packaging looks like. It's just very simple. Colourpop is very inexpensive, so they kind of keep their packaging pretty simple. And then this is what the concealer looks like. The concealer is pretty nice. Like, I like this packaging for the concealer. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna be using my Maybelline Master Prime today just to get away some of the oils, because we are using a hydrating foundation and I don't want it to be super duper like oily already. Okay, so that kind of like tamed some of the oils, as you can see. So some of the claims, it says it's a hydrating foundation with skin perfecting medium buildable coverage for natural healthy looking skin. It just says prep your skin with a pretty fresh primer and use the blending sponge. I could not find the blending sponge. I saw someone using it on YouTube and I was like, I didn't even know there was a sponge. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of a shake, because I feel like sometimes buildable foundations are a tad bit more runny. And then hopefully this shade is better than yesterday. Okay, that is a lot better than yesterday. It is, like I said, a little bit more runny. As you can see, it's starting to drip down my face. So I'm just kind of putting the normal amount that I would normally put on, and then I will go back in if I need more coverage. I noticed the naming is a bit off with the colors of these products. I'm never usually deep dark when it comes to my makeup products. I'm usually maybe a dark or even a medium dark in some of my foundations. So yeah, foundation shades and companies just always have different naming for their products, and the concealer was a medium dark. So usually when I hear deep dark for a foundation, it is at least a shade or two darker than my skin tone. Okay, so I am looking very hydrated. I'm just going in, just making sure the foundation is blended in, because I know sometimes when you don't have your foundation blended in all the way, it can leave you looking very oily in certain spots because it's still kind of like wet. Okay, so I have applied the foundation. This is what it's looking like on my skin. I think it's a really nice finish, and it definitely is like a medium coverage, but I'm looking very dewy, so I'm definitely not going to put any more on. That's not going to really help anything. I do love the way that it looks on my skin. It's definitely making me look very hydrated. I'm not someone who suffers from dry skin, so I am going to go in with my setting powders and things of that nature to tone it down just a bit. But I do like hydrating products on my skin now. I think I've mentioned that quite a few times now. So we're going to see how this looks with all of my products paired together. But I'm really liking the overall finish and coverage of this so far. So now I'm going to go in with the Pretty Fresh concealer, and this is probably what I'm really most excited about, but I did want to try the foundation as well, because I know, it's better when you use products that come in the same line and you use them together. Shades down in this concealer as well, and it's still looking a tad bit bright. The lights are making it a little bit brighter than what it is, but I'm still actually pretty shocked at how bright this concealer still is. And I went down a couple shades. Like, just going off the name of the colors, I know it's hard to swatch stuff right now, and the colors online are not really that great either, a great indication, but maybe just try to look online. Try to watch videos, maybe learn from me if you're the same skin complexion. I would say I probably could have went down a shade again. I'm just not used to purchasing concealer that says dark. Like usually I get a foundation that says dark and then my concealer says medium, or it'll have like an actual name like cocoa, or cocoa for the foundation, and then like caramel for the concealer, or cafe for the concealer. Darkest shade, this color here, which is 145W, was I believe the darkest shade in the medium before you just went to the straight dark concealers. And so I was like, okay, well this one probably will work because it is the darkest shade in the medium, which is where I tend to usually fall for my concealers. But now I'm realizing that might be a little bit too light. I will probably use this as like on top of the actual concealer, like as a highlighter or brightening, but I don't think I would use this on its own on a daily basis because it is very bright. Okay, so to tone it down, a little trick that a lot of people use is to use the same applicator that you applied your foundation with to go over your concealer. So I'm just going to take this brush and I'm just going to lightly kind of go over where the concealer was, and it'll just kind of tone it down just a tad so it's not like so super bright. So as you can see, you can still see the concealer underneath, but it's not like really bright. Okay, so this is how we're looking after I have applied the concealer. I'm actually still really liking everything except the shade of the concealer. I think it blended really nicely into the foundation. The foundation is the perfect shade for me, and if I just go down in the concealer, I think that this will be a perfect match. I'm probably going to speed through this portion because this is not the important portion of the video, but I'm going to go in and set my under eyes with my Fenty Beauty loose setting powder. Now my face is looking definitely a lot more toned down when it comes to the dewiness and the oils. I'm going to go ahead and dust this powder away. I'm going in with just my Cover FX blotting powder in Deep. I'm definitely going to bring back some color to the face using my Black Radiance Sculpt Shadow from the contour palette. I'm gonna go ahead and put some mascara on my lashes and on my bottom lashes. Now going in with a little bit of gloss from Fenty Beauty. This is Hot Chocolate. Also want to add a little bit of highlight today. I'm just going to go from that same Black Radiance palette. Guys, so this is pretty much the finished makeup look. I am really a huge fan of Colourpop's complexion products. This is my first time trying out one of their foundations, and I didn't get my hands on the No Filter foundation, but I did love the concealer. I will definitely link down in the description box below that video where I compared it to the Fenty concealer. This, I'm actually kind of like wanting to try the Fenty foundation just so I can compare this to that, because I did not get the Colourpop No Filter foundation. And I held out on getting the Fenty hydrating foundation because I didn't see that great of reviews for it. And I don't know, I'm thinking that this might be a better dupe for that foundation if the reviews are kind of true about it. I actually really like this concealer. I think that I'm just going to buy another shade in it. I'm not going to return this one, but I am going to just get the shade down. So it's going to be very similar to my e.l.f. hydrating concealer where I have the two different shades. I might actually compare this to the e.l.f. concealer because I'm thinking that the e.l.f. concealer is just a tad bit more full coverage than this. But yeah, as you can see, even just sitting here talking right now, it's starting to kind of look you know, you can see that it's not completely matte, and you can see that, you know, I'm starting to look a little bit dewy or oily in my sense. But since I am wearing hydrating foundation, it's not necessarily oily. It's just, to me, more luminous and more dewy and more hydrated. So I think that this foundation is a go so far. I'm gonna have it on for a couple of hours, and I'm gonna check back in with you guys a little bit later so we can see how it looks then. I would say that it still looks pretty good. It's starting to look a little bit more hydrated, and of course on my T-zone area as well. But because obviously this is a hydrating look, then I'm not really worried about it. I actually really like the way that it looks of it. I would, as they say, powder my nose probably, because I don't know, my nose just, I don't like that area of my face looking oily. I just feel like it's just the center of attention and you can just see it. Other than that though, I'm really still loving the overall look and feel of this foundation. If you wanted to, like if you don't really like a very hydrating dewy foundation like this, you could continue to kind of like powder your face throughout the day. I would say probably at like hour 5 or 6, it probably will be a little bit more noticeable, especially if you're like doing things. I'm mad at this. I definitely would recommend it. I think I'm going to be wearing this throughout the summer. I've already been loving my Milani Screen Queen, and that is also a luminous finish. So I told you guys I'm getting older and my preferences are changing for my foundation, and yeah, I'm preferring a more hydrating foundation. So I will have all the links down in the description box below to where you can get this foundation, and I definitely recommend you give it a try. Okay guys, so that wraps it up for this Foundation Friday video. I have a couple more foundations, new foundations that is, to try out for you guys. So be expecting a couple more Foundation Fridays, and then I'll probably switch the series up for Fridays from there on out. But if you guys enjoyed these types of videos and you like seeing me try out some foundations, please give me a thumbs up so that I know that you do. Also, leave down in the comment section below any other foundations you would like to see me try out, because I'm always in the market, even though I probably shouldn't be. I am for video content and things of that nature. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're not, and please hit that bell notification so you don't miss the next time I upload, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.